I really believe. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I hope you like the hair. It's very national. Um, if you have not liked and subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. If you would like to donate or send more information or sign up for any one of our processes or from programs, please send me a DM or write down in a comment section below. So back to the issue of marriage and relationships. I don't believe that monogamy is for everyone. However, I do believe that we are a social creature. Human beings are very social. And so when people say, like, Nihanja believes that everybody needs to be married, I believe that, it makes a lot of things a lot easier because we are meant to share our lives experiences with people. Yes, we also need to be able to be independent and function as so. But for the most part, we need each other. We don't function well alone all the time, and we are a social creature, which is why one of the biggest punishments in this time that we've experienced has been isolation, confinement, and the inability to have that social contact. It's a punishment. That's why they do it in prisons. For the higher crimes, you will find that some of the punishments given are solitary confinement. So, I just wanted to clarify that up for those of you who, want to say that I think that marriage is for everyone. I don't think it's for everyone. I think that some people are better off alone. But for the most of us, for the average bear out there, most of us need people around us. So, with that being said, I want to let the rest of the song play while I go grab myself a drink. Oh, and the third thing is that Hannah has a drinking problem and that she it seems a little bit out of it in some of her shows. Um, yeah, you want to hold me a beer? Yeah. A Radler or one of your dark ones, no? It's my husband. I'm not sober, not anymore. I'm very sober actually. I've only had one of these light beers. I think they're called Shandy, and in German they're called Radler. So it's half beer and half lime juice. It's quite refreshing. Thank you, darling. This one here is a Schwartz Beer. I hope I'm getting a little bit of sponsorship for this. Very refreshing. This is a stout. But in any case, Germans make the best beer, in my opinion. And so on that note, I want to talk about drinking online. Guys, it's called Freestyle Fridays. I am doing what I would be doing on a Friday night, yet I'm doing it here with you. You're welcome. Giving free sessions advice that don't always apply to everyone, but in general, the average bear might be able to get something from the conversation that I am having with my general public. If I say something that offends you, I hope that you get angry enough to maybe reevaluate your life and do something about it to the point that you want to maybe think, oh, well, if this is not true, then it shouldn't offend me. But if it does offend me, maybe it is true. Maybe there's a trigger there. Maybe there needs to be something that I need to take a deeper look into. And so if I offend you, because this woman was saying, oh, she seemed a little out of it. She doesn't look like the same Nehanda that she was when I met her, which was 10 years ago. I am now a married woman with 2 children. And I don't think that people need to be standing in the same place, nor should they be continuously the same person throughout this life's journey. Having said that, if you're in a situation where you feel like you're not moving because you don't want to step on any landmines, well, you're not going to be able to run away from the bear if you're standing still either. And so movement is very, very important. Emotion is very important. And if you're angry about any of the things that I say, I welcome that because anger is usually the first step just before action. All right. So let's get this party started. It's Christmas. It's New Year's Eve. And I will be your lovely host for the next 45 minutes. I'm going to let this run on Facebook. YouTube is going to have a little break timeline, and I'll see you in a few minutes. I hope they don't like copyright me because they keep doing that, and it's really annoying. Glad that you guys have been able to join us here tonight, and I know that a lot of you have been thinking about what are some of the things that you want to do for a New Year's resolution. Usually I always do a New Year's resolution that I probably am able to follow up until the 6th month of the year, so half of the year. But I think that, like Christmas, it should be every day, right? We should always be looking back at our lives at the end of the day and thinking, wow, I really did a better job, or what can I do better tomorrow just to get a little closer to the goals that I have set for myself. My mother used to always tell me to work backwards. And because I'm dyslexic, that used to piss me off a lot. Like, I couldn't think like that, working backwards, but I have to be focusing on working forwards. So it was just really confusing for me to think that way. But what I found is that is a good way to take a big goal that you may have, break it down into little incremental pieces, and then work towards it day by day, moment to moment, even hour to hour, if you feel like that's it is something that is a little bit hard to attain or very much out of your comfort zone. Start with something small. I know that in this time, in this day and age, everything is instantaneous and everything is just instantly gratifying. It's really hard to have that patience and that level of confidence and stick-to-itiveness that will allow you to get to the goals that you say that you want. And so to that, I'd like to say that, starting small is super, super important. Start with something that is a little bigger than you were the day before, but big enough to let you know what the differences are, what the difference is at the end of the day. And I think that it's really cool to have that, because when you have that, like when I had that, I started running, because running for me was a very, very physical way to actually see how you can push yourself mentally little by little by little. So I would say, okay, I'm going to run to the store, which is about a quarter of a mile from my house. And getting there in the beginning was hard. So I had to divide up the run into a quarter of a quarter, right? So that meant I had to run for 3 minutes and then another 3 minutes. So I would look at a target and say, okay, I'm going to run to that tree. And once I got to the tree, then I can run a little bit further. And then if I can run a little bit further, then so forth and so further. I became so focused on just going step by step, one foot in front of the other, one tree after the other, that I even forgot that my end goal came within the rhythm of just being able to concentrate my focus at such a high level that I got to my goal without even realizing how quickly I had gotten to it. So that exercise really helped me to develop the emotional and mental stamina to help me think about building up my ability to concentrate and focus on a particular thing. And so I treat every goal like that, right? I have a lot of vision boards that I put together, and it's super hard to focus on a vision board, especially if it has something to do with, like, for me personally, my thing is wardrobe, because I like to shop spontaneously. But I apply that mental process to my wardrobe, and then to my house, and then to my relationships. Well, how do I apply this goal to my relationships? Let's say you're in a relationship right now that's not functioning the way you want it to. It is time for you to sit down and ask yourself, what are some of the things that I can do better to help this function a little bit easier? And I want to talk particularly about friendships and relationships, because in this time, in this day and age, where so much of us are spending so much time alone, or needing to really cultivate the relationships that we have, or we're able to maintain, like that, like people we live with, because we can't really socialize the way we used to. it's really important for you to be able to nurture those relationships in a way that is beneficial to all the people involved, really. So how do we break those up into little incremental pieces? Have you ever asked the people around you what it is that they want? What are some of the things that inspire them, make them feel happy, good about themselves? I was listening to one of my coaches the other day ask that question, and it hadn't even dawned on me, being married for 7 years, that I never actually really asked my husband that on a regular basis. Because, of course, like you, your partner, your children, your friends, your parents, they're changing and their needs change depending on the season and the time and what they're going through. And so it's really good to keep that conversation up to date by just checking in on a regular basis. It might seem a little bit grilling to have this conversation so matter-of-factly. So, don't. It really means that you have to have a certain level of honesty or maintain a certain level of culture within your relationships with the people around you, where you can ask such a question in a more realistic and direct manner. And that's why I promote honesty so much. It is such a hard yet extremely beneficial thing for you and the people around you, because then you know that you're getting and giving the most out of the experience almost 100% of the time. It's very difficult. It's very excruciating at times, because you're going to hear people tell you things that you might not necessarily be comfortable or happy with. But I think that those things are important to hear, because they ultimately will help you improve the relationship with the person around you. And it helps you to recognize what things you have control over and what things are not your issue. And so I had a conversation with my mom the other day. Ooh, do I want to get into this? Yes, I do. And the issue was really honestly not an issue. But like many people, when we come up with a problem or an uncomfortable conversation, ultimately you want to be able to get permission to be honest, right? You want to be able to get permission to be honest, or you want to be able to be truthful without being disrespectful. And one of the ways that I like to do that is just to ask, when the person has cleared, like when they've said what they've had to say, can I be honest with you? So most people will say yes, but they really don't want to hear the truth. Other people, you can also ask, can I give you some feedback? If you're going to criticize someone about something, that's generally the way to go, is to ask, can I give you some feedback or some pointers or some tips? Most people do not want pointers, tips, or feedback. No one likes to be criticized. And so if you're going to go the way of pointing out something that makes you feel a certain way, people actually avoid saying it like this. I don't know why I've always said it like this, but people avoid saying, hey, you've hurt me. I didn't feel good when you said so-and-so. Saying so-and-so makes me feel this way. And it's actually a very interesting culture to have in your relationships, because it allows you to acknowledge the way you feel about how people treat you without making them the bad person necessarily. Some people may still get offended because they don't want to hurt you, or they still going to feel attacked, or they know that they did something wrong anyway, and pointing it out just makes it worse. But at the end of the day, it's always important to have these painful conversations, because ultimately that person is going to reflect and think about what it is that you said. And if they mean you well, eventually down the line, apologize. And sometimes you actually will have to say, I need you to apologize. Like I had to tell my mom, like, you need to apologize about this. And maybe she got too much into her feelings where she still has not done that yet. But I know that that's going to happen so long as I hold that goalpost. Hold that goalpost, because there will be no moving on, because moving on means deflecting, changing the topic, not holding responsibility, and not being accountable. And if we're not accountable, then we are having fake friendship and relationships. And those things are not helpful or useful to us because we're really not being honest. The person's not being honest with you. You're not being honest with them because you're telling them, yeah, everything's okay, when things are not really okay because you're still thinking about what they did to you back in high school, when they wore your dress and you told them not to, whatever it is that you're hung up on. You need to just acknowledge it. So the question here on Facebook, guys, can your friends be honest with you? All right? Especially for the women out there who have their girlfriends who tell you, you don't need him, girl. He this, he that, blah, blah, blah. I really wish I could have had this conversation on Instagram, but Instagram is acting a fool today. So it is what it is. It is going to be Facebook, baby. People need to be given it straight. All right, from my ladies out there who have their female friends who have been coddled. Oh yeah, we're going to get into it. Does this dress make me look fat, girl? This is the kind of stuff I keep talking about. And then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Like, yeah, do you think that green is my color? Yeah, girl, sure. We as women coddle each other too much. We lie to each other. And a part of it is that we feel afraid of hurting another person's feelings. Sometimes the feelings just have to get hurt. Oh, yes, we're going to go there. The feelings got to get hurt, ladies. Because if you say to your friend that you really care about them and you're really interested in their best, you're really looking out for their best interests, them feelings got to get hurt, boo-boo. Them feelings got to get hurt. And like I said earlier, if you are in a situation where you're telling a person the truth and initially it stings and they run away because they're hurt and they don't want to talk to you anymore, they are going to think about what you said later on. If they really are your friends, they're going to think about what you're saying. They're going to evaluate and see maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe they'll see that there isn't truth in it. But it's necessary to get it out there because what happens when you get in a relationship with somebody that your friend doesn't like and the friend knows that the person is not good for you and then y'all break up because he did X, Y, or Z and then she was like, yeah, I knew. And then you were like, why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. For the greater good, sometimes some feelings are just going to have to get hurt. My grandfather has a very notorious saying, you can't break an omelet. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. And the eggs is your ego. And so if your ego is too big where your friends cannot be honest with you, or you can't be honest with your friends, that's really not a friendship. And for me personally, I don't have that many friends because I tell too much. I tell the truth too often, and that's a bit of an issue for some people. So people prefer to be lied to, and I prefer to not be with people who prefer to be lied to because I like my experiences with my friends to be authentic, and I like to be with authentic people. Why is that important? We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this because truth-telling, honesty-telling is a distinct characteristic of a type of person that has a high level of integrity. And when a person has a high level of integrity, they have a certain level of loyalty. Oh, yes. We're going to get into it. The metaphors. The metaphors. Do we have that song on cue? Do we have Chris Brown? Pia? Do we have this song on cue?
Pia Espo.
What is that? Strip? Oh, God. Wow, I don't have that song. Interesting. Woo! These hoes ain't loyal. That's what I'm talking about. These hoes ain't loyal. They are. Wow. Help. Yeah, talking about women who are not loyal to their friends. They're not loyal. Why are we not loyal? Ladies, why are we so disloyal?
I know. Because really loyal.
All right. The reason why so many women are so disloyal is because we have been focusing from the perspective of scarcity, fear, and lack. Lack and scarcity.
No,
There's not.
lack of scarcity.
Go put a mask on. We are been focusing from a position of lack, scarcity, and fear. We are afraid of being found out because we've told so many lies about what we have done, who we've done it with, or a little bit of both.
Like miraculous.
Okay, can you not do that right now? Go find out what your sister's doing. Can she be locked up in her room? Ask her. Huh? She's what?
He's doing something with her.
What's on your tongue? Did you eat some sweets? Where'd you get sweets from? I put them away. Oh, I had, yeah, okay. One of them fell out. All right, so scarcity, fear, and lack, ladies. Functioning from a place of scarcity means that you believe that there is not enough to go around, and therefore every woman is for themselves. And you will trick, lie, and deceive your friends into thinking that the situation is something that it's not. The second part of scarcity is feeling like telling the truth. Playing fair is for suckers. And when you play fair, you lose. Because that's what happened to people who are good. Because that's what happened to you when you put your heart out there for the first time and got it broken.
And not pulling hair.
Fear is the fear of being alone. I mean, hey, maybe you're a nice person. Maybe it's good to be alone sometimes. Maybe you can enjoy your own company. But being alone also is a security is also secure and makes people feel good about not having to put forward the effort. Let me tell you something. Your friends will not tell you want a man. You got to get out there and do the work. If you want a man, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your freedom. It's going to, like my husband told me the other day, these days.
No, Yulia.
These days where when a woman could just ask the man, where you going? Who you gonna be with? When you coming back? No. You don't get to ask me nothing. I get to do what I want because I'm the man. And yeah, it was kind of funny, but it's kind of the truth. And we women, we're not about that life. We automatically associate that we are afraid of humbling ourselves to the girlfriend experience, right? The wifey material experience means that you have to have a certain level of hey, I know, I get it. I am one of these women where it's very hard for me to be humble and be like, let my man do his thing and let him be the dad and let him be in control. It's very hard because as modern women, as women of today,
my hair is really long.
Women of the 21st century, we've been told this lie that we don't need a man and that we can be in control and in charge of everything. Ladies, fear is that if we make ourselves vulnerable to the idea that we can be in a family way and we actually have to work with another human being, another adult who is not in our care, that has a mind of their own, who we will have to submit and humble ourselves to. If that is what's keeping you alone, then maybe you need to be afraid of being alone instead of afraid of being with someone. Uh-oh. Got real. Come on, Polly, get up. Let me fix your ponytail. Your ponytail is a little saggy. Right? Because what's at stake here is that you get to banter to yourself like you banter to your friends. Your friends telling you what you want to hear. They're keeping you single. when you know that you're really wanting to be with someone. And we talk about equity versus equality. My husband and I were talking about this morning. Equity versus equality. If you guys look at my video on YouTube where I talked to Dr. Ford about this, the difference between equity and equality, it raises a very provocative question.
Yes.
What is it that we're really fighting for? The right to be equal to men, or the right to have respect and to have our children being taken care of? I understand that there are some women, a very small percentage, who actually want to be equal to men. And those women are usually, no, we're not going to go there. But this bantering and this lying, ladies, let me tell you that your single friends, your female friends, are keeping you single. I talked to a client the other day, actually, who told me that my grandmother told her, a widow, okay? She died a married woman. I mean, she's not dead, but her husband passed on. And she was still married to him, living in the same house with him, living in the same place with him, same bed as him. Like,
This.
She told this woman to go on with her life and leave her man.
When you have a baby, you need to the pump out. Like when I was a baby, my
Apollonia, you know you're not supposed to be in the show, right? No, you don't. Goodbye. 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 I'm sorry. Bye booty.
I want to say yes.
Okay. You can say yes, but you can't say nothing else. All right. Okay. See, that's the problem right there. See, even the young women of today have this problem where they got to put their mouth into everything. She's not about this shut up life. I've been doing. How much content do I have? I think I have 1,000 hours of content, and my daughter has been trying to be in every single video since she got here. Okay, Schatz. Wait, since before she got here, Alta. I've been doing this before you were here.
Yes.
Can you go get me something? Get me my water bottle from upstairs. It's on the floor in my bedroom.
Okay.
Why does her eyes look red? All right, guys. So yeah, if you get into your feelings will keep you where you are. Let me just give you a very simple saying that I learned in this profession about feelings. It goes a little bit like this. If you want to fight for your limitations, you get to keep them, right? That simply means that if you feel a certain way and there is some emotion attached, okay, feeling is emotion. And so when you're emotionally involved in something and you feel like you got to behave a certain way because you feel so strongly about this, that you want to neglect the facts that are having to do with this particular situation, you will forever find yourself in a situation where you're not able to learn. Now, guys, we are about to get started again, and here we are talking about a very important topic that I brought up last week before I went on vacation called, somebody's trying to go live with moi. Let me just check out what's going on here on the lovely computer. So, being Mary Jane syndrome. I was watching a nice little clip on YouTube about why most black women are single. Most, okay? Most black women are single. So there are 7 reasons. Brace yourself, my entire audience of 2. Why you guys, we are single. Oh, now it's just 1. That's okay. Happy New Year. First reason. We don't seem fun. I beg your pardon? I never promised you a rose garden. Yeah, black women do not seem fun. Why is that? Why do we not seem fun? I really feel like offended by that because I think I'm pretty fun. I scuba dive, I run, I hike. I'm basically a very outdoorsy person. I'm a sports person. I like sports. I like NFL, football. I've recently gotten into the WNBA because my daughter plays basketball. The second thing is we look like we can't be bothered. That's true. Black women do have an attitude. I will confess to that. I do have an attitude. I've been working on it for a very long time to be more friendly, to be more open, and to be more, a little bit nicer. Because one of the things that I've heard about Gen Z, black men, black boys, young teenage boys, young boys, they actually say that they find black women attractive, but they're afraid to approach them because they seem mean. Mean, can't be bothered, seems like pretty much the same kind of thing. One of the things that blew my mind is number 3. All right. Out of the 3, we have don't seem as fun, can't be bothered, and are sexually inhibited. I beg your pardon? So you mean to tell me, with all this, where's my camera? With all this booty shaking going on inside these rap videos, hang on a second. We still get to be the most sexually inhibited women? Okay. All right. We don't seem supportive. All right. This one I actually have to agree with. And I know that I've talked about this before. I think maybe I talked about this on Instagram. I talked about this further down the line on Facebook maybe. I don't know. This is the second time I've talked about this list of 7 things. Um Yeah, so we seem to be a little bit non-supportive. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 3 more. Um, okay. So we're moving in scarcity and lack, which is what I talked about. We're a little bit neurotic. We're believing in the fairy tale and don't want to do the work. This is basically what the being Mary Jane syndrome is. Now, there are a couple of characters in somebody said that they get my lives late. Okay, that's good to know. Maybe I need to send out a notification before. All right, guys. So notification. Yeah. So some of the reasons why this is happening, or this is what I see happening, is that congratulations to my friend. She got married. Oh, that's so sweet. Love. Yeah. So one of the things that I talked about in my first live tonight was the moving in scarcity, fear, and lack. Ladies, in 2022, we're gonna have to change it up a little bit in terms of our attitude towards dating. We need to be a little bit more humble. We need to be a little bit more riskant. And if you're one of these being Mary Jane women who are having the sidebar and that's why I mentioned this, the sidebar, the side guy, and the in-between guy, you're going to be finding yourself in a situation of some serious, serious problems. One of the problems with the sidebar guy and the body count, 2 things. Men are not stupid. They can tell when there's a body count, when there's a high body count. And if a man is concerned with body count, he is able to pick up on this movement of scarcity, fear, and lack. Men are, I really, they can pick up on, if a man can pick up on a woman who is prone to be with a guy who's abusive, like a predator, what makes you think that he cannot be prone to recognize or cannot recognize a woman who has like other issues, like, or who has like a body count, or who is a little bit sus when it comes to her dating scene? Mary Jane gives a very dangerous precedent that you can just be in these streets and then become a wife. All right. And I know what a lot of people are going to say. Well, Nihana, you did it. Hang on a second. Time out right there. Let's take a break, because that's what I did. All right. I took a break. And another thing that my friend, a couple of guys I was asking about this, hey, does body count matter? Like, body count basically means how many people you've had relations with. And there are two answers to this question. There is yes, body count matters. And two, I take the military approach, which basically means don't ask, don't tell. You don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. Right? So if your man has not asked you and you are in a serious committed relationship with him, I would take the approach that this is not information you should volunteer. I had a friend like that who anecdotally would love to tell her boyfriend everything. And I think that that is generally a bad idea, because I feel like information when it comes to certain sensitive topics are on a need to know basis. What is your need to know? Is the person standing in front of you right now? Is the person approaching me with like flowers behind me right now, and you're about to, like propose? Do you need to know if I slept with this person? Because that would be like the only one of very few circumstances where you would say, okay, yeah, you need to know that me and this person we've had history together. Other than that, I would not recommend you going about telling Tom, Dick, and Harry, because this is privileged information. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about your precious life story. And only that's history, that's stuff that people need to earn the right to. Yeah, so that's how I feel about that. Now, the neuroticness of Mary Jane in the series, to me, is unrealistic. It's very realistic and very telltale of how we are as women of color, in our liberal way of thinking, that we have to be in control of everything all the time because she has a lot on her plate and a lot on her shoulders. And then bam, she gets married, right? Ladies, please understand, this is unrealistic. This is like straight up Disney. Like, this does not happen at all. I haven't seen the end, but I didn't have the patience for, like, I think it was 4 more episodes. I'm halfway, right? I didn't have the patience for her anymore, because Mary Jane and I have grown up together from fiance to full-blown married woman. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, the person who was watching Mary Jane when I was like dating my husband is not the person that's watching Mary Jane now from the beginning. It's just like, she's super annoying, because I keep thinking about the man's perspective. Like, she coming into this situation and she got a man over here, she got a man over there, she got a man over there. All right. And that's very typical. That's very typical. That's why I'm saying a lot of men already know that most women have a higher body count than them. Because women, especially if you are in the higher looking scale, and you're not in Europe, because I feel like here, well, my daughter doesn't really count because she's very conservative. But what I'm saying is that women in their 20s in the West who are good looking have who get male attention all the time. They got a boy for the books. They got a boy for the it's like that song from Subaji. What's the name of that song? Ole. What's the name of the song? Tell me now. I need the song in my life. You used to run around here singing it the whole time. My cousin hates it when I sing the song. What's the name of the song? What is the name of that song? Ole, ole, ole. Aha, that's the one right there. Oh, that's his wife? You know somebody's song? No, I'm not. All right, so this song is just basically like how Mary Jane is. She talk about how she don't need a man, right? But she got a man for this, a man for that, and a man for the other. And in between men, you get the sense that these dudes that she's picking, first of all, are simps. Like they straight up the NFL player in the beginning that she always calls and she got a key to his house and he's always available. Like ladies, that doesn't okay. That does happen. All right, that does happen. Yeah, I know a couple of scenarios. I mean, if I had a dime for every scenario that you could tell that a woman can just pick up the phone and call a guy and be like, yeah, I'm coming over for, some action. Uh, like that's how men are. But I don't want us women to confuse desire with commitment. Like those are two separate things, and men are very good at compartmentalizing that. What women think is that because we have so much access, so much more access to male attention and all of this, like all of these men here, the man who want to lay the pipe and the man who I'm gonna stop the dancing in the background. Yeah, like one's gonna pay the bills, one's gonna build a house, and the other one's gonna give her the satisfaction of feeling like a natural woman. Um, the other three are actually hoping to be in the situation as the last one. No man, no heterosexual man does anything for you if he is not directly related to you for free. I have had the privilege of knowing that my whole life because I have brothers. So you're welcome. No man is going to give you anything for free without the expectation of getting something in return. Every time he does something for you, like what Chris Rock said, it's, do you want some? Anytime he says anything, that's what he's trying to say. All right, so don't be fooled and don't be using these men because this is the kind of thing that puts you in a very, very bad situation. And Mary Jane promotes that kind of behavior. And that's why men think black women cannot be bothered with them because they use men like, it's not unique to us, but we're talking specifically about sisters. And then they just throw them up like tissue paper and throw them aside. And that has a certain amount of energy around it, and men can pick that up. Men can pick that up, and you can actually get like a reputation for being that type of person. And that's why men get so jaded and bitter, where they're just coming straight up like, hey, are we going to do this? And then after we do this, then we can talk about what you want and what you need, because they're not really interested in having relationships anymore, which we thrive on and need. But we're going to have to be a little bit more realistic and a little bit about it. We have to be honest, loyal, and dedicated, and it's going to come at a risk for us. And the disloyalty of Mary Jane, sorry, is just not what's really going on in these streets. You can't be sleeping around with a whole bunch of men and think that you can emotionally be present to be able to commit to a man long enough for him to believe that you are sincere in your desire to want to be with him. I don't mean to be esoteric and very spiritual, but no, he didn't just copy me. Oh no. Anyways, men pick these things up just like we pick up when a man is cheating on us or when a man is like when a man is cheating on us or not being real with us, we pick that up. So what makes you think that men don't have that same kind of instincts and intuition? He is investing in you, in your if all he's getting is wait, hang on a second, let me get back to him. If all he's getting is look how he's dead. I feel like I could put a hula hoop around him and he'd just be like, whoosh. Really wanted to make sure that I stress the point of disingenuity and functioning in fear, scarcity, and lack. This allows you the ability to truly commit focus because it's in the back of your mind that you're going to die alone, that you're going to be alone, and you function in that way. That comes off in your aura. That is, that creates a certain type of attitude towards dating, that you're always looking for justification just so you don't think that you're crazy to pull back, create distance, or sabotage your relationships. And unfortunately, men can pick up on that, and they have even less trust for you when you are engaging with them in this way. And let me just tell you something about body count. If you're not 100% committed to your man, even if it's unspoken, all right? Even if it's like, okay, yeah, this is not serious, but I got somebody on the side that I can call when I need an itch scratched, that reeks of scarcity. That reeks of non-commitment. That reeks of disloyalty. These hoes ain't loyal. I wish I could put that. I can't believe you don't have that on my playlist. I could only play them. You don't have it on the laptop? No, it's not here. No.
So it had to be on the laptop.
When I rich nigga won't you? Anyway, so when you're disloyal, it shows. It really, really, it really. Oh, I'm sorry. It really can show in the way that you operate and function, and men pick that up, and that is something that you need to deal with because we're dealing with a feeling species. We're dealing with people who have emotions and who can pick up on that extra amount of energy that is around you. And when people are not loyal, that is something that men and women are very in tune to. And that comes from self-awareness. Unfortunately for us, men are actually more self-aware than women are. Ooh, oops, ah, that burns, that burns. I know it does, but it needs to be said. It's 2022, guys. We on the countdown, and we are going to root for honesty, integrity, and abundance. The second thing I wanted to talk... No, hang on a second. I've talked about scarcity. I've talked about neurosis, believing the fairy tale that she could just, sleep around and have all these issues. Never go to therapy and still get married. What? Having you here just... I'm going to be done soon, but having you here just creates a certain level of energy. Why are you wanting me to be finished? Jose Loyal is not here.
Because you're sitting there and the cable, you're messing with the cable of the chair.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Is that better? I don't think it's me. I think that everybody's at home watching TV because nobody can go anywhere. So that's that. Yeah. So, where was I? Don't want to do the work, but expect to find results. This is hard work, guys. I gotta tell you, 2022, for those of you who are going to be in the category of engaged to be married and married, relationships are work. Some of us are going to pick people that are not worth the time. Some of us are going to have to understand that compromise is real when it comes to relationships. No more red bottom heels. No Prince Charming on a white horse. Just regular ass life, which means sacrifice, commitment, and dedication, and work. And since men are such a rare commodity for us women, especially for us black women, because we're the least married and we somehow have believed this Mary Jane lie that we are both desirable and marryable, let me tell you something. There's a huge, very, very, very big line between marryable and desirable. And you fall in one of two categories, and you make your prospects even slimmer, because our men are the most desirable. If you go back 100 years reading fairy tales, are you okay? Please grab a tissue. Sweet baby Jesus. If you go back 100 years ago, what did we all hear with Prince Charming? Tall, dark, and handsome. So everybody want our men. And we feel like it's just a given that our men are going to want us. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's not a given. And so we need to get with the program. Be humble. Wait a second. The snow is coming next year. Where is it? God damn it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so if y'all want to get in on this game, y'all are going to have to you're going to have to stop thinking that having a black man is a given. And stop thinking that you could just date outside. Mm-mm. Yeah, be humble. Be humble. Because what I am seeing with this being Mary Jane generation of mine is that just because we feel like, oh yeah, everybody wants to have big booties, everybody wants to have curly hair, everybody wants to have full lips, everybody wants to look like us, but nobody is marrying us. And we cannot think that everybody's going to be like me and just swirl, go marry you a white man. White men are checking for white women, all right? Most people are loyal to their race. Not everybody is Simon Helmker. So you want your man, the same man, tall, dark, and handsome that everybody else want? Everybody else is scooping up our men. Trust me, I have 4 brothers, and none of them are married to a black woman. None of them, because they are the most desired men outside of white men. And white men marry. Oh, they sleep with everybody. Trust me. They sleep with everybody. I'm being real. It's 2022. In a couple of hours, I gotta be real. I gotta be honest. We talked about honesty. They are not marrying us. They've been doing this for centuries, okay? That's why everybody looks like my kids. Why you think Arabia came out of? Because white men have been sleeping with everyone for a while. They are not marrying everyone, though. So if you think you're going to be in my position, think again, ladies. You need to be humble. Go to your man and learn. Please learn what Maritza and Meiling and Fatima, please learn what these women are doing. Stephanie, what Becky and them are doing to take our men away from us. I mean, your men away from you, because I don't have a dog in this fight, y'all. I'm married. Like I'm happily married. But not everybody's gonna be in my situation where they can just say, yeah, I'm just gonna marry a white man. It doesn't work like that. And I hate the fact that being Mary Jane has actually given us the delusion that we can just go outside or travel or go somewhere and find our true love because our men are not checking for us. Maybe us are the problem. Maybe we're the problem. And we need to change something and learn from our other counterparts like Becky and Mei-Ling and Maria and figure out what it is that they're doing right to take our men from us. Because our men actually, ladies, they want to be married to us. They actually still want us as mean, as unfun, can't be bothered, sexually inhibited, and unsupportive as we are, our men still actually want to be with us. And it doesn't mean that they just have to take whatever we give them. It means that we have to learn how to be better so that we can give a better product and be more competitive in the game. So I think I'm gonna be done there. Yeah. So do the work. Yeah, that's what that's what I'm gonna sign off with today. Happy New Year's Eve. People are already starting to get the fireworks up. Illegally. Oh my God! I got another song. Do the work, guys. Do the work. You know. And just trust me on this one. Just because you marry a white man or marry an Asian man or marry a Carlos, which if you would be lucky to find one of those strays who want to be outside of their race, doesn't mean that you won't be faced with the same problem of having a man who wants a woman, not an equal. They want a Cynthia, where is illegal?
Illegal?
Mm-hmm.
What illegal?
The song. Anyways.
What song?
Never mind. I'm not putting the song on. I'm going to get my... Yeah, I'm going to get my kiss... Okay, your dimples are illegal.
Yes.
Your fireworks are illegal. No, I'm not putting that on. I'm about to go get some quesadillas. I'm going up to my neighbors. We're going to get this Sylvester party on together. What I want you guys to have a good takeaway from this situation is don't believe the fairy tale. Yes, you're going to have to settle. Yes, you're going to have to be humble. Yes, you're going to have to correct the things that are being said about us, which is that we are not fun. Why are black women not fun? Babe, am I fun? Babe?
What?
Am I fun?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little bit of a snowflake. Can't be bothered. I think I do that. I do that passively aggressively where I just like to make him chase me. But that's not going to work. Don't let the man chase you because men are a high commodity. I think in some parts of... I'm glad you're here sitting down so you could hear some of this advice. You never listen to me.
Don't talk to me.
I'm talking to you now indirectly. Yeah, so, be a little bit more fun. Be a little bit more interested. Be less sexually inhibited. Cover your ears, girls. Be a little bit more freaky deaky. Like, I'm shocked about that one. That I'm gonna have to look that one up. They're not supportive. Be a little bit more supportive. Like, I know women are like, well, what if he doesn't do anything to be supportive? Ladies, I'm going to do a podcast on this and a Patreon. This is going to be paid content because there's a way to know if a man has potential to be something worth investing in. But for the most of us, we're very average people. Like, I'm a school teacher. I'm not expecting to marry freaking Elon Musk. I'm just a regular person. So I am married to a regular person. I am not expecting to have a Porsche and $1 million worth of kids. We have to also be very realistic and do the work on what it means to be in a realistic relationship and not have these unrealistic expectations of, all right, well, I'm going to be married to a guy who's going to make $250,000 a year and we're going to go on vacations on Europe. I live in Europe. Or maybe in that case, you would be going on vacation in the States, right? Going on vacation in the States. Like, most of us don't have those lives. We have the lives that we have where we live very average, we're comfortable lives, but we live within our means. And that is something that comes from you doing the work along with your partner in order to get the accomplishments that you want. And if for those of you who are single and that's how you want to be, please consider that not everybody's perfect and neither are you. And sometimes settling means that you're just going to have to put up with a few uncomfortable things for the greater good. And that requires you to all right, peace out. It's time for us to get this party started. Love you and have a good new year.